Third down and 20.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the 3rd and 20 Dynasty Podcast. I'm JT, joined by Jake, Lounis, and Frank. We've got the full crew, and it's draft time, people. We are, as we're recording this, we're only 2 days before the draft. We're going to be recording live on Twitch, actually, for the first time. I don't think we're live yet, but we're about to be live on Twitch. So come check us out. The podcast will probably release a day or so before the NFL draft, maybe the day of the NFL draft. Some news and notes about it real quick. We're going to be doing a live stream for all 3 days of the draft. Not all of us are going to be on every day, but Frank will be consistent throughout all 3 days. We're going to be starting 6 o'clock. Oh, and Lounis, I guess.
I guess.
Lounis doesn't count.
Yeah, you don't want Lounis' opinion anyway. But just really important, we're going to be starting at roughly around 6, hopefully, before the draft, Eastern time. And then, we'll be going probably a little before each draft day whenever the picks start happening. We'll be live a little before. That brings us into our news and notes segments. We're 3rd and 20 on Twitch, by the way, just like we are anywhere else. Okay. News and notes. We had a trade, actually, believe it or not. Another trade. The Chiefs and the Ravens made a trade. The Chiefs received Orlando Brown, the second-round pick from the Ravens, and a 2022 sixth in exchange for the Chiefs' first, pick 31, a third, a fourth, and a 2022 fifth. So, boys, the Chiefs secure another O-line spot. They're protecting Patrick Mahomes as much as they can. What are our thoughts, opinions? Who won? Who lost?
I'll go first quick. One quick thought on each team. For Chiefs, I thought it was the right move, even though I'm sure a lot of us are praying that they would draft one of those late first-round receivers for their fantasy stock to go crazy. I thought it was the right move, helping Patrick Mahomes. I think it helps Clyde Edwards-Helaire a little bit too. For the Ravens, this kind of all but guarantees to me, whether it be 27 or 31, they're going to draft a receiver at the end of the first. I don't know who it's going to be. It might be Terrace Marshall, it might be Bateman, maybe Elijah Moore. I have no idea. But they're going to draft a receiver at the end of the first.
Dyami Brown.
He might. Yeah, there's been
it's been gaining hype. Dyami Brown's been gaining hype.
Yeah. I just kind of want to get your thoughts, and you can also say your thoughts on the trade, obviously. But how do you feel about, let's just say JT, your guy Terrace Marshall, he gets drafted to Baltimore at the 27 or 31 slot. How are you feeling?
He's like my wide receiver.
I'm with you, Jake.
Yeah, he's like my wide receiver 3, I think, at that point.
He goes up for you?
If he gets drafted to the Chiefs, you said? Or
Ravens.
Ravens.
Oh, wide receiver 4. Sorry, I'll back it up one spot. I think the Ravens are such an underrated team. Everyone hates on Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson actually is not a bad thrower. People say he's such a terrible thrower. He's got one of the best accuracies down the field after 10 yards. He's also got one of the best third down accuracies, I'm pretty sure. So you guys are hating on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense when meanwhile, not Jake is specifically, when Lamar is passing to Hollywood Brown and Willie Snead as his main wide receivers, you're putting someone that's an alpha type in Terrace Marshall, with also Mark Andrews on the team. I think that's a lot of solid weapons for Lamar Jackson to actually build around, and something that we've seen Greg Roman tailor this offense to Lamar Jackson's skill sets. Now he can tailor it to the team officially. They've got a decent running back. They'll have a alpha wide receiver, a top tight end. That's a lethal offense, I think. So I don't think the Ravens offense would really knock down any stock of any wide receiver drafted there.
Dude, preach it, JT.
Smith.
JT, we're going to get along this episode. I have the feeling we're going to get along.
All right, I'll take it.
If Terrace Marshall goes to the Ravens, I'm calling it now. He's Miles Boykin 2.0.
You all knew this was coming. You all know this is coming.
If anyone listens to this, I'm not taking any receiver that goes to the Ravens unless it's Jamar Chase. So it's fine.
Jake, every other episode. Sell all the Ravens. Sell all the Ravens.
I think I don't know if I'm fading as much as Jake does, but I don't like that landing spot because, I guess Lamar Jackson's going to have to do something that he hasn't proven to me yet, which will be
Supporting number one wide receiver, yeah.
And like not just him, but multiple receivers. Because you can't forget Mark Andrews, I think, is probably going to lead that team in catches, even if they draft a receiver. Then you will still have Hollywood Brown in the mix. You know they're going to be a run-first team. And then there's another first-round receiver they have to support. I'm not saying it's out of question because Lamar Jackson's still developing. He's super young. But I'm saying he would have to show me something that he hasn't already.
All right. Well, who won the trade though? Who won the trade?
Oh,
I think the Chiefs did.
I do too.
I'd say the Chiefs.
Didn't
I don't know. I don't know why the Ravens did that to an AFC competitor.
I think that's just the best price they were going to get. I think that's why they did that. But like, I'm a huge fan of Orlando Brown. I've been a fan of Orlando Brown for a while now. I remember he had that awful combine that made him go from like a surefire first-round pick all the way to like a third-round pick. But there's one thing about offensive linemen sometimes. It's not about how many bench press reps you can do or how high you can jump, fast you can run. It's about, are you a big-ass dude and are you able to get moved? And he's a big-ass dude that's hard to move. I'm pretty sure he hasn't given up a sack at all his snaps at left tackle. Something along maybe like one sack and something ridiculous like that. No, I completely agree with you guys. You got a left tackle in terms of draft pick price for really cheap. I think the only problem with this is that now he has all the leverage, so you're going to have to pay him an ass ton. But I think that the Chiefs, their cap situation isn't as bad as the public like wants to make it out to be, because I know we all know they gave Mahomes that giant contract. I think that the Chiefs are kind of like in a really good spot. This is a huge problem spot for them, and realistically, the draft capital they gave up this year is not all that bad.
It really wasn't. Like, you move back like this minimal amount of spots into a draft where there were certain people like Rappaport and whatnot were saying like, oh, I only have like a first-round draft grade on like 20-something guys, so you're already moving out. Like, you weren't in that first-round draft grade already, so you're kind of picking from the same pool of talent, just moving back a few spots. So I think it was a very nice deal for the Chiefs. You're basically trading salary cap at that point. Like, you're gonna have to pay him a contract.
Well, not only that. Wait, real quick, Jake. Not only that, now their major needs are pass rusher and receiver, which there's gonna be like the same quality of pass rushers and receivers, generally speaking. Obviously, not exactly the same. It's gonna be a little bit worse, but at the end of the second, you're getting a pretty damn similar prospect that you were picking at the end of the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. I think the big win for the Chiefs in this is they get an offensive lineman. That's the end of story. We saw what happened in the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers just destroyed Mahomes. Like,
dude, he was on the run for his life.
He was on the run every single play. And I understand, a lot of their starting offensive linemen were out at that point, but still, to add a young, good offensive lineman is the biggest thing that the Chiefs needed to do this offseason. They went out and did it. So I think it's a major win for the Chiefs here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Baltimore did that. Especially, like, now, I don't know. Like, I feel like the Chiefs are once again the overwhelming favorite, and this only kind of adds to it. For the AFC, I should say. Not necessarily in the NFL, but for the AFC. So, I don't know. And then Poticher goes, calm down there, Max Kellerman.
All I know is I definitely feel like we're going to have, I don't want to hype it up too much, but I feel like there's going to be like an unprecedented amount of trades this draft. We've already seen 3 or 4 go down prior to the draft, and different talking heads are predicting certain people start sliding, and I think the other teams are just going to go in and snatch them up, which is why I want to move into our next segment, which is players from the draft that are most likely to rise. Like, who do we think is actually going to, sneak into the first round, or maybe you have like a day 3 grade on them, or certain experts have day 3 grades on them, but they're actually going to get drafted day 2s. What are those guys? Who are you guys looking at that you think are going to be risers in the draft?
One name that comes to mind for me is Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. I just think he's just checking every box in the draft process here. Teams are, looking at the pedigree of even just the former wide receivers that come out of Ole Miss in the past few years, and DK and A.J. Brown, so they know he's coming from a good receiver system there. He just checks every box for me. He's a big physical guy. He can run. He can go over the middle. He can go deep. He wins all the 50-50 balls. He's a guy that I'm looking to sneak into the back end of the first round, if not the early second here. And he's a guy I'm looking to target in pretty much every rookie draft I'm in.
Oh, okay. Big talking, Jake.
So this is kind of like, I don't know, this is a unique riser because this is one where do you guys probably have Jalen Waddle getting drafted?
I mean,
11?
top 10.
Yeah, like top 11, top 12 picks.
Because right now, but I guess this isn't a huge rise. If I had to guess right now, I think Jalen Waddle is going number 6 to Miami.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, part of it is because I think picks 4, 5, and 6 are Pitts, Chase, Waddle. If I had to list like a final prediction before the NFL draft, I think Waddle's going to end up a top 6 pick.
Did you see what Kyle Pitts just said on NFL Network like 2 hours ago?
No.
Yeah, he said that all the picks are going to be quarterbacks.
He said like the top 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks.
I don't think anything more than we do, though.
I agree.
I think that's an interesting quote. Obviously, this is my prediction before trades. If someone trades up to number 4 for a QB, it changes things. But assuming Atlanta stays put and Cincinnati and Miami does, I think that goes Pitts, Chase, Waddle. Because I definitely think Cincinnati's picking Chase now, like the more reports I've seen and everything.
Yeah, but real quick, though. We were talking before the episode, me and Lounis, about what the Dolphins could do at 6. Because I was thinking if there's Devontae Smith and Waddle on the board that beforehand I was going to go easy Devontae Smith. I still think I would. But just think about how fast your receivers would be with Jalen Waddle and Will Fuller as your receiving core. Like, if you're trying to recreate that Chiefs style of offense where you're completely stretching teams with speed, that would be it. And you have an accurate quarterback into it. That'd be pretty crazy.
You're also pairing Tua up with his old teammate and everything. I just think though, like for the Dolphins' sake, I think it's better to take that top. If it goes the way that Lounis was saying, I think you're better off taking whoever you believe the top lineman is, and then just grabbing a receiver at pick. What are they, like 18 or something?
Yeah.
Like you're still going to get a very good wide receiver at 18, but you're also
getting it the other way around.
Tackle.
They could take an O lineman at 18.
True, but I'm more confident in the wide receiver skills. So like I think there's probably 5 solid wide receivers that you could take in the first round, not even counting Devontae Smith, and so I just think you're better off going and snagging the top tier tackle, especially if it's the first tackle, whoever you think that is. I think it's better off going that route. But
if they can snag Penei Sewell, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
I agree. If they can snag Jamar Chase, it's also ridiculous. Like imagine the Dolphins receiving core with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, the Dolphins seem like they're that team that's set up for success now, but like we've seen it with the Browns, we saw it with the Cardinals. I'm going to start pumping the brakes on the Dolphins if they start picking up all this hype. Like,
all right, who's the next riser though?
I mean, I could go. It's someone.
By the way, JT, real quick, you do have a fan in the chat.
I saw the fan. I appreciate all my fans, especially that one. My guy is someone that Frank and I have been hyping up forever now, but now I'm starting to hear like there could be first round buzz on this guy.
Finally,
first round buzz, and that's Dynasty Brown out of North Carolina. Stocks to the moon if he goes in the first round, and that means he's going in like late in the first round too, which means he's going to like one of the good teams with a top quarterback. Dynasty Brown to the moon if that's the case. If you're one of those leagues that drafts before the NFL draft, which I think is interesting, I personally wouldn't do it, but like if you are one of those leagues and you snag Dynasty Brown as like a late second where he was going, like you would be loving that if that's the case. We've been hyping him up forever now. I don't really have much more to say about him, but yeah, if he goes in the first round on draft, you're going to see me ecstatic on stream. I'm going to be going nuts.
JT, that'll be the one moment where we can truly come together as best pals when we see our boy Dynasty go in the first like I mean, I think you've been saying it too, but I've been harping on that this guy is a first-round talent. I don't understand. I see a lot of people saying that he's like a third-round guy. I just don't see it. I mean, he's obviously not a lock to go in the first. Ever since I started watching the UNC film, I like all these UNC players. I think they're all legit for the most part. Not that I think every UNC player is going in the first, but Michael Carter, Javonte Williams, Dimey Brown, they all play hard. They all offer. They're like great football players. Dimey Brown, first-round pick. I just really don't want him to go to the Ravens because it's going to be tough to root for a Raven.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that might be taken at 27 or 31.
He fits the Ravens so well. That's what I'm scared of. Is that like that he is exactly what the Ravens need at receiver.
I don't want to tip picks, Frank, but there is another guy that I think if he's not almost definitely not going in the first round. But there's one other guy that I think we both like who could potentially go higher that we'd be celebrating together. We might get to that later.
Who's that?
It's a running back. I'm not going to tip
Javonte?
all the way. No, not Javonte.
No.
Oh, Trey Sermon. Okay,
yeah.
well,
all right, I guess we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. All right, yeah, cool.
Oh, screw you, Jake. No, I agree with you on this one. JT, that's Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon is a guy that me and JT have been kind of saying. I don't know if JT is as far as I am in this, but Trey Sermon, everyone is just kind of saying, oh, well, he's a third round at best prospect, third round, fourth round kind of guy. I think that a lot of people compare him more to like a Jamar Jefferson or a Chuba Hubbard than to the stock of a Najee Harris or a Travis Etienne. And I have it the other way around. I think that Trey Sermon is legitimately in contention to be one of the top 3 running backs off the board. And that sounds crazy compared to the consensus, but dude, this guy is a superbly athletic back. Like, I mean, you can look at his relative athletic score. I can imagine it's over 9. I don't know. I can look it up sooner or later. This guy's he fits all the athletic boxes though on tape, regardless. While he was inconsistent, think about Josh Jacobs back at Alabama when he started off really inconsistent, had a great second half of the year, ended up being a first-round pick. He's good in the running game and the receiving game. To me, Trey Sermon checks all the boxes you want. He has that prototypical running back size. I don't see why he can't be a second-round talent and even all the way up to like an early or a mid-second round talent.
I agree.
For the record, I just looked up his relative athletic score. It is at 9.66, so he is at the top end here of that rating right there.
Yeah, there's only probably like 1 or 2 running backs that are above him.
I can tell you that. That's it.
I'm gonna throw out scenarios to you guys. I'm gonna say 4 running backs. 4 running backs and where they go, and you guys rank them 1 through 4, right? So we have Najee Harris on the Steelers, Travis Etienne on the Bills, Javonte Williams on the Falcons.
Fuck you. God damn it.
and Trey Sermon on the Chargers.
I would hate Trey Sermon on the Chargers.
Yeah.
You don't like Trey Sermon on the Chargers?
Yeah, because you got that damn slimy Eckler taking away all those juicy passing down touches.
That's true. I could switch. I could switch.
Put Sermon on like the Jets.
Put Sermon on the Steelers in the second round after we take Landon Dickerson in the first. How about that?
Okay.
And you could put Najee Harris on the Dolphins.
After the Steelers draft Najee in the first and Sermon in the second.
Let's go. All right.
One of these running backs is going to the Jets. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, the Jets are going to take one.
Okay. We could audible. We'll put Najee on the Steelers. We'll put Travis Etienne on the Jets. We'll keep Javonte Williams on the Falcons, and we'll send Trey Sermon to the Steelers.
That's 2 to the Steelers.
Or to the Bills, you mean?
No,
Sermon
wait.
to the Bills.
Who did I send to the Steelers?
Najee.
Send Najee to the Dolphins. Sorry, Najee to the Dolphins. Najee on the Dolphins, Etienne on the Jets, Williams on the Falcons, Sermon on the Steelers.
I think Javante's my RB1 still.
On the Falcons.
On the Falcons, RB1.
Probably, yeah. Then I'd probably go.
Dude,
I like
Etienne on the
Etienne.
Bills would be freaking saucy.
Etienne.
I
on the
moved him
Bills
to
would
the
be
Jets.
saucy.
I moved him
He's
to the
on the
Jets in
Jets
this
in this
scenario.
scenario.
Though. I mean, you could put him back on the Bills.
I think I'd still have him RB2 on the Jets. I just feel like they would give him so many touches.
They would. And I think he would pair nicely with Zach Wilson in the passing game here. But I would probably have Etienne, then Najee, then Sermon.
Where'd you say Sermon was again?
Steelers.
Ooh,
Najee
man, I would
Dolphins, Etienne
love
Jets.
Sermon on the Steelers.
Sermon in
Falcons,
Pittsburgh.
Sermon Steelers.
They're interested in him, I'm pretty sure. I think they've met with him a couple of times.
Yeah.
Don't you forget about their Anthony McFarland. Go Terps.
I will gladly forget about it.
Yeah, when Anthony McFarland's a bona fide RB1, we'll bring that clip back up. Don't worry.
There are some teams that are very, very barren with running back.
Who's the best blocking tight end in the draft? I would probably say that kid we were looking at, Tommy Tremble out of Notre Dame. I really like him for blocking, Sid.
Yes, that was one of the questions there on Twitch stream. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us in podcasts, come join us on Twitch when we are doing stuff live. All right, who would we miss? Lounis. Who's your guy most likely to rise? No, wait. Lounis said Jalen Waddle. Sorry. Jake, did you say
It was a small
person?
rise, but it's an important one.
Yeah, my riser was Elijah Moore.
So we got Elijah Moore, Jalen Waddle, Trey Sermon, Diami Brown as our risers.
Dude, I can keep going. You need some more risers? Ready? I got another one for you. Bang
okay.
time. Cade Johnson out of South Dakota State. I have been locked in my room watching receivers, trying to get them all finished and graded for the draft stream. Cade Johnson is I'm going to call him a slightly budgeted Darnell Mooney.
Okay.
More so, or like a slightly budget Deontay Johnson. I could see him going in a similar spot around that mid-third round, but because he goes to South Dakota State and all that, like he's not going to get the credit that he deserves. But this dude can play. This dude can 100% play. I think he's going to go a lot earlier on draft day than people are expecting. I know there are a couple people that do like him. Like I know Lance Zierlein. He's one of the better scouts. He works for NFL.com. I know that he's high on Cade Johnson. But this is a dude that, I don't even think he's being drafted in rookie drafts right now. I imagine if you even mention him, most people won't even know who he is. But this is a dude that you could pick up for pennies in a startup right now or something. And I think he's actually a pretty good player that could see some meaningful playing time.
I would have never bet money that we would have been talking about Cade Johnson on this podcast, but
you need me to, I got more.
No, we're good.
A more well-known riser, I think, is Nico Collins. We've talked about him last time, and I just think this guy has great size, pretty decent speed, nothing that's going to blow you out of the water, but pretty decent speed. And I just think he was an opt-out guy, right, Frank?
Yeah, he opted out. And he also played for Michigan the year before, so that's basically a glorified opt-out.
Yeah.
Michigan is like a death land for receivers.
Yeah, so I think people are going to be surprised when he goes higher in the draft and he'll start to rise up, rookie boards once that happens.
I agree. Jake, you have a fan question. Since you're the Giants representative.
Who do we like at 11?
Give us a 1 through 3 ranking.
I think it has to come down to Micah Parsons, J.C. Horn, and either Bama wide receiver, whoever you like more. I prefer Waddle. I don't know if he'll be there at 11, but I think one of the Bama wide receivers will be there. I think you pair, Parsons in the middle with Blake Martinez, solidify the middle of our defense when we already have two pretty good corners on the outside, pretty good secondary in the back with Peppers and Xavier McKinney. You can go J.C. Horn and just make it probably the best set of corners in the league, or if not one of the top set of corners in the league. And then obviously, if you want to just ramp up the Daniel Jones hype here, or the Giants offense hype, you could take one of these Bama wide receivers, put him with Kenny G, put him with Saquon coming back, and you have a legit set of weapons. So one of those three is who I'm looking for the Giants to take.
You're not
That would be
looking for a
pretty
pass
crazy
rusher there?
receiving core.
I don't personally think the pass rushers are worthy of 11. I think if you want a pass rusher, you do trade back, it's a 15, 17 in that range, and it's more value, and you pick up another pick along the way.
I mean, that is an option, though. If one of the quarterbacks is there at 11, and I mean, this is such a niche scenario, but let's just say that Fields is, and the Patriots want to move up. I don't think that'll happen, but you're right. That is a possible scenario. All right. Anyone else got any risers? Any risers?
I mean, we talked about Terrace Marshall, but I think he's not definitely a first round pick right now. But I would not be shocked in the slightest if he was going in the first round now, which even like a week ago I don't think was the case.
I mean, I've kind of touched on it before. I can just throw out another one real quick. Javonte Williams. This is a big Javonte Williams podcast. I personally think he's the RB1. I think of all the running backs, him and Etienne have the best chance of going in the first round, not really Najee. Mainly because I think a lot of the Najee first round hype is being driven by him going to the Steelers. And while I wouldn't be insanely shocked, I would be a little bit surprised just because Najee doesn't really fit the standard profile of Kevin Colbert first round picks. If there is one to go in the first, I will put my money on Javonte. I think he's the best running back.
Quick question to all three of you, and I'll answer it as well. It's either one of the two. Either say, A, if you think a running back's going to go first round, yes or no, and then if it's yes, which one? I say yes, and it's Etienne.
Whoa. Well, I don't want to give all my picks away or my takes, but my medium take for this upcoming the first round of the stream is no running back gets drafted in the
No running back first round?
Zero running back.
I think one sneaks in there. And
yeah, I find it hard to believe that none go in the first round. Someone's going to, at the back end, be like, okay, I had a mid-first round grade on this running back. I'm going to take him. So
my issue is, I've said it before, and it's just, I think I'm too trusting of NFL teams, right? But, like, none of these prospects are better than the likes of Jonathan Taylor or even DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins. Like, Javonte Williams might be close, but, like, literally last year, Najee Harris and Etienne were in these guys' class, and they were not better than them. And they're just older.
The thing you have to remember is that as pure runners, they might not be as good, but Travis Etienne and Najee Harris, they are better receiving backs than all those running backs, aside from the guys that went 1 and 2, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and DeAndre Swift.
Sure, but like there is lack, like they're not pure running backs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, JT. I don't have first round grades on either of those guys, but the meta in the NFL is starting to become using your running back more in the passing game, especially more so than just running him in the flat. You're running him on rails and wheels, and like the Browns do a lot. They'll line up in power and then go 5 wide when you got 3 tight ends, a big ass receiver, and a guy like Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt, and actually running them on a legit route and being an actual receiver. So being able to catch the ball, especially like Najee Harris can, is a huge asset. So that's why I could see him going in the first round, not because he's the next Derrick Henry, right? Which is what's interesting about the running backs.
Yeah. My thing, though, is like, it's kind of unfair, but like, if I'm an NFL GM, I'm almost never taking a running back first round unless it's like a bona fide stud like a Saquon Barkley. But at that point, he's going to get overdrafted anyway, like he did on the Giants. So it's like, why am I? Well, I'm not trading up to go and draft Saquon Barkley. Like, I just have to be right place, right time, and I just think it doesn't make sense for NFL GMs.
It's a luxury pick.
Yeah, it is, and I just like. None of these running backs, I think, are like spectacular first round grades. Like, it doesn't make sense for me for them to be drafted in the first round. Although probably one of them will be, if not more. But that's why it's my medium take. Any of you guys have anything to add? All right.
No, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, we could transition then into our next segment, which is in a similar vein. It's the players most likely to fall in this draft. I know we've all been looking at mock drafts closely, and we've all been checking to see what our favorite teams picking and who's moving up and who's moving down. What do you guys think?
Wait, you got a quick question for JT?
Quick question.
What's going on, Mike Dixie?
Mike
Wreck?
Dixie wrecked.
This is gonna sound
What do you
like
got?
weird. I like that you guys said that.
I'll take the fall. Don't worry.
This is gonna be weird on podcast. We are answering Twitch questions. Did he?
Become a Patriots fan before or after they won the Super Bowl?
Oh well, you guys can answer that.
You are running. No, JT's been a Patriots fan since
Long time.
See, now you have the
young
excuse, especially because you're living in damn Massachusetts.
I am also living
and he's
in
living in
Massachusetts.
Boston.
Yes, our Twitch chat's pretty fun. Yeah, I've been a Patriots fan a long time.
I can't believe that guy got me. I didn't realize that. Prove it. You got to prove it.
Prove it.
Do you want me to show you outside? I don't know what you want me to I don't know what you want me to do.
Show me your...
just post your address in the Twitch chat.
My address out. I think we can move on. I don't really know how to prove I'm a Patriots fan. Moving on, players that we most likely think are going to fall. Well, actually, I guess I could prove it there. I, as a Patriots fan, really want Justin Fields to fall. That's the guy that I'm going to pick for this segment. There's been different claims. Like some still believe that he's going to go 3 to the 49ers. Some are saying, the Patriots are going to trade up to 7. Chris Sims just came out today and had him going like 30, which
32.
is 32, which
Tom
is
Brady.
Wild. Yeah. So I do see Justin Fields potentially falling. I don't really know what I don't know what the reasoning is behind it. Like I know that epilepsy just came out as like a health issue. I don't think that would be the reason why. Yeah, no. I don't think that would be the reason why either. I don't know, guys. Like it just
Alan
seems like
Faneca, one of the Steelers' best guards of all time, had the same issue, and he barely missed any games. That's all bullshit. If that's the reason he's falling.
I think.
What's the furthest you guys can see Justin Fields realistically falling?
No lower than 15. There's
11.
No chance. Yeah, like even higher.
Because let's just say we know the top two, Lawrence and Wilson. Well, I'm assuming right now that that that's wild. I'm assuming right now that Mac Jones goes number 3. And so who's probably the next team to take a quarterback? Are we assuming Denver at 9 or 8?
Yeah.
I think they might take. I gotta stop looking at the chat.
You gotta close the chat.
I think they're gonna take Trey Lance. If I had to guess, Denver.
Denver, okay.
Okay.
And so at that point, it makes things interesting because I think that's where a trade-up is likely to happen, but I don't know when and where it'll be. I think Frank said he saw rumors today about the Patriots calling Atlanta for that number 4 pick.
I think the Patriots are calling everyone.
I heard the Patriots and Giants had talks for number 11.
See, that's why I'm saying 11 is that
also.
If that happens, because the Giants every year have tried to trade down. Literally, it's always been a rumor. Dave Gettleman wants to trade down. He wants more picks.
Dave Gettleman has never traded down in his entire career.
Yeah, but he tries every year. Down. He tries every year, and he can't do it. He's like the...
Yeah, because did you hear what he said? They had a press conference with him, and he goes, "I'm only going to trade down if it gains value. I'm not trading down to be a chump. I'm just going to sit there and take my guy, whoever I have top on the board." He truly wants like the best offer you could ever have for that pick always, and that's why he never trades down.
Yeah, but the thing is too, I think part of the problem is that he didn't want to trade down incredibly far. You get a deal where you can pick up good value for only trading back 4 picks, and you probably take the guy that you were thinking about taking at 11 anyway. So I think that's why it finally works, is that you get to 11, there's going to be a team, whether it's the Bears, the Patriots, I doubt it'll be the Washington football team, but maybe they blow your socks off. I really don't think he makes it past 11. I'd be shocked. There'd have to be it would have to be something behind the scenes, some sort of character issue that we're not hearing about. That's the reason that he drops.
Which I don't see.
Because I'm not a huge Justin Fields guy. I would take him at 11. I think that's a little bit like 32. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's great.
Interesting thought. If Fields falls to 11, you think the Giants just take him?
I would,
Ooh.
dude.
I
Fuck it.
would.
I'd take him.
I would.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like I'm a Giants fan. I love Danny Dimes. I think he's been okay, but like if Fields falls to 11, just falls in your lap, do you not just say okay?
Jake, I've thought about the same thing with Philadelphia. If Fields is there at 12, even though they've like come out and kind of like the reports about the owner being like, oh, help Jalen Hurts like out as much as you can this offseason. Like it's hard to pass on Justin Fields at the 11 or 12 spot. If you believe in his talent, which I mean I do, and I think majority of people do, even though you have a young guy that you like, it's hard to pass up on someone that good.
A Justin Fields, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay offense, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
What do you do with Daniel Jones then?
Trade him.
Trade him?
You can get something.
There'll be teams that call for him.
You can get it.
I think you let him play for a year. I think you still don't just automatically give Fields the job, but it's like.
Well, I don't think it'll be also more of Daniel Jones wanting out.
I don't know. The thing is for me is that last year the Giants were a quarterback away from being a playoff team. So I don't think you can just kind of, even if you like Danny Dimes, I don't think you can just sit idly by and say, oh, well, quarterback's figured out, because this is a roster that's ready for the playoffs. Yeah, it may not be a favorite, but in that division, dude, that defense is freaking insane. Like that secondary is ridiculous.
That secondary is good. Yeah.
So I agree with you guys. I said it in a video before a while ago saying that if I'm the Giants, I'm not going to force a quarterback, but if someone like Justin Fields falls into my lap, fuck yeah, I'm taking him.
I agree. And honestly, I think you could trade Danny Dimes for what, a second, third round pick worse?
At least a second. You could get a second for Danny Dimes.
See, my thing is like if he plays a year and he's turns out to be sick, what? Oh, I have two great quarterbacks. What a awful problem to have.
When does that ever happen?
One,
when does that ever happen that that's the case where you have two great quarterbacks? I feel like never.
Your team a couple years ago.
The thing about it is
like Jimmy G wasn't a great quarterback.
Yeah, he
got
wasn't.
It's not great. It's pretty good.
It was an okay one.
Let's go on to the next faller, though. Actually, Jake, say your point, then we'll go on to the next faller.
Actually, no, we can do the next faller, yeah.
The issue with taking Fields and then not trading Danny Dimes is that he'll just constantly be looking over his shoulder. The media would be at his throat for every mistake he makes. And it's not a way for a young quarterback to develop. And you know that as well as I know that.
No, so you're right about that.
It would be better for both parties to just say, okay, we're moving on with Justin Fields. He happened to fall in our lap. And just take what you can get and send him to Chicago or send him to somewhere that needs Denver, or send them to maybe even Houston if they just want him for a year if Deshaun Watson's out. I don't know. Send him somewhere.
Yeah, you'll get a second-round pick from someone for Danny Dimes. Okay, I'm trying to think of a faller. Unless someone
I can go if you need me to.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. I've got like a couple of fallers. I think the first one for me, I'll kind of combine two, and that's Rashad Bateman. I'll just stick with Rashad Bateman. Mainly, I think he's a faller in terms of everyone is kind of expecting him to be this.
JT, what was that? What just happened?
I'm trying to inspect Frank to see what he's thinking right now. I'm gonna throw him back on.
All right, go ahead, throw him back on. You can expect me all you want.
No, I actually kind of agree with you, but
this is a guy, and I don't think he's necessarily going to fall a ton. I've kind of stuck to my guns with Rashad Bateman, thinking, okay, I think this is a mid to late second round prospect. A lot of people think that he's a top 25 talent, top 20 talent. I wouldn't be shocked if he went there. I just don't really see the overall package that everyone else does, and especially after his pro day numbers came out, I think that kind of further cements the whole he's a second round guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes late first or early second. I just think that to the people that think, oh, well, the Bears are in play at 20 and teams of that nature, obviously they re-signed or they franchise tagged Allen Robinson, so that's not being really mocked anymore. But teams around there thinking that they need Bateman. Even a team like the Ravens, I think that they're better off going with Terrace Marshall or Dyami Brown. So I think for me, Rashad Bateman, I expect him to go day 2, not day 1.
Yeah, it hurts me to say it, but like when he came out and was like, "Yeah, I never played over 200 pounds," and he was even smaller too. He's like 6 foot and like half an inch rather than 6'2", and he's like 199, like 190 something instead of like 215. Like, it's a very different wide receiver build. I know I'm Tinder girling JT here, but like, it's just a different guy. Like that's a completely different wide receiver when we're talking that stuff. So it does hurt for me to say that because I was really a Devontae Smith believer, but now
Wait, what did you just say?
Oh, sorry, Rashad.
You just said you were a Devontae Smith.
No,
believer.
I am.
Flip it.
That's live on. That's live on.
It happened.
No, that was my alternate ego here.
Instagram.
That was my alternate ego.
You have to flip it and post it on Instagram.
Nope. That was my alternate ego talking. I'm a Rashad Bateman believer. Now I've kind of cooled off on him. I still like him. I'm taking these glasses off, man. I still like him, but like, it does hurt to see where I thought he could have been in the realm of a like Devontae Adams type, a DeAndre Hopkins type. Not obviously as good, but like he was that kind of player, a Des Bryant kind of player. Now he's just like your run-of-the-mill average guy, and I would like to reiterate.
Okay, listen, I've said this before. Rashad Bateman is Keenan Allen. He's going to be a guy that just consistently puts up numbers, but is never the guy that's like, oh, he's a stud number 1. He's never going to be that guy. He's not DeAndre Hopkins. He's not Devontae Adams. But he will put up big numbers like Keenan Allen does with the Chargers every single year, regardless of who's playing quarterback.
If you think he's going to be a Keenan Allen type, then you're higher on him than I am. I'm not a big
I have him as a late first, early second in a rookie draft. I have him probably early second in the NFL draft.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you guys with a mini faller as well.
Okay.
And for me, that's Amari Rodgers. I know Jake is going to be scoffing at me because I'm taking all the receivers he likes and.
I'm not huge on Amari Rodgers. I think he's a nice player. I don't. It's not someone I'm like crazy about, but I do like him.
I've got another one too when we come back.
I say mini faller mainly because I think a lot of people are expecting him to be an early 3rd round pick. I personally have him more as a 4th round kind of guy. I think that when you look at his athletic scores, it kind of backs that up. I feel like for me, Amari Rodgers was more of a product of the Clemson team than him being the guy there.
I mean, that's very fair. Like, wasn't he was the number 1 receiver there last year, right? Over Powell?
Yeah, like him and Powell. Powell played that more traditional number 1, but you're right. Like, Amari Rodgers was like, in essence, the most actual target, aside from ETN, of course.
Whoever starts on that team, with Trevor Lawrence as your QB, you're going to put up numbers. Like, some receivers going to put up numbers. So I can see what you mean with him just being like kind of a product of the offense. So I can understand that. I can see that.
Dude, and their schemes are nice. Like, I don't think people really give Clemson the credit they deserve in terms of coaching because they do a phenomenal job of putting their players in positions to have success.
Yeah. I mean, they're a national championship kind of team.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do get the credit they deserve.
I was trying to figure out how to say that nicely, but yeah.
I don't know. Everyone's always like, oh, well, yeah, obviously Nick Saban's a beast and he's a great coach, but no one, not saying that no one thinks that Dabby Sweeney is a great coach, but I feel like they more so think of Clemson as, oh, they're only good players, not great scheme as well.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
We'll see how it is next year because people are saying about LSU last season with Burrow and that whole offense. And then last year, they're very underwhelming once they didn't have like an elite tier quarterback. So I don't know who Clemson's quarterback is supposed to be next year.
They got that dude. He's a beast.
Yeah,
DJ. That guy's got a cannon and a half.
I've got another one that we could jump on if we're sticking with the wide receiver train. And someone that Frank and I both like, I think actually for the most of the podcast does like it. That's Rondale Moore. He was getting mocked in like the middle of the first round prior to his pro day, and then came out like he was 5'7", and then I don't really see any mocks having him in the first round currently. But
everyone's a bunch of U's, JT. Everyone's
everyone has
say, "Oh, he's not 6'2".
This is your fault, JT.
If
Rondale Moore doesn't go in the first round, it is solely JT.
No, NFL teams are Tinder girls for the first round picks. You kind of have to.
You guys are all gonna have to pump the brakes here too, right? Because with Rondale Moore, we knew Rondale Moore was small. Rashad Bateman is completely different. Like you thought Rashad Bateman was an alpha kind of guy. What'd you say, Lounis?
2 inches is still 2 inches.
Yeah, you know all about.
I was gonna try. I know
all about it.
I was gonna try and avoid that one, but we went there.
I don't care. I'm going crazy. Dude, I already said that guy's name earlier, so I'm already done for.
Rondale Moore, though, like you knew that he was a very tiny wide receiver. Like going into it, I know that he's even 2 inches smaller than you thought, but like you can kind of see that. You can see that he's smaller than basically everyone else on the field. It's not different. Like I just think he's getting unfairly punished at this point, where he's going from a mid first round pick to not even in the first round to like mid second round, maybe is where I've been seeing him.
Yeah, like now he's being mocked mid second.
Like you're knocking him off a whole round, but you're still keeping like the likes of Devontae Smith up there when you know Devontae Smith's like 160 something pounds. Like it just doesn't really make sense to me if you're knocking one guy but not the other guy.
Man, I really struggle to see a world where Rondale Moore doesn't get picked in like the top 40 picks. Like
I think there's a decent chance.
Dude, what's crazy? I know I keep bringing up the relative athletic scores, but I freaking love this thing. The relative athletic score stuff. It's great.
If I'm a Tinder girl, you're one too. You go to the score all the time.
But
Frank's like a Hinge girl.
This is a Bumble.
Yeah, I'm a Bumble girl. No, but think about it like this, right? Rondale Moore is top 10 in relative athletic score with a 9.33. This thing takes height into account, like relatively heavily. That is crazy. Like he is bottom of the barrel in terms of height, yet he's still at a 9.33. Like that is crazy how athletic he is. That is insane.
No, I'm with you. I think he should still be not mid first, but a late first round pick. But I don't know. This is JT's fault.
Dude, his height...
It's not my fault. I've been hyping him up.
Listen to this real quick. Listen to this. His height in this metric, in this algorithm, is a 0.19. His weight, a 1.98. And he still has a 9.33. His vertical, 9.94.
Yeah, his vertical
out of 10.
Is crazy.
Bench press, 9.88. 3-cone, 9.51. 40, 9.91. That is ridiculous. This guy is like Superman, but he's just small.
All right, you guys want to hear something ridiculous? I looked up a mock draft. First one I found, WalterFootball.com. They've got Rondale Moore. They've got Rondale Moore, pick 64. Do you know who's to the Bucks actually, which would be kind of cool.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
No.
Do you know who pick 59 is though? Pick 59 is Tutu Atwell. Tutu Atwell's even smaller. What are we doing? We're dropping Rondale Moore a round and a half and picking Tutu Atwell over him when we know Rondale Moore is like only 2 inches smaller. Like it doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
No, that doesn't make sense. Tutu Atwell.
Yo, Lounis, we got a fan question.
I saw the Sydney.
Hold on, okay, let's do it after the segment though.
I'll answer that and the Zachary's question after this segment.
Anyone have another follower? Because I got another follower if we need.
Go for it.
This isn't a major follower by any stretch of the imagination, but I have seen this guy getting hype, especially on the Dynasty subs, and I know exactly why. It's Jalen Darden out of North Texas. This is a guy that a lot of people are targeting in the 4th round of rookie drafts. And I can almost guarantee you it's because you look at the stat sheet and he put up some really nice stats. To me, Jalen Darden is nothing really more than a gadget player. I think that he's going to go around the 6th to 7th round of the NFL draft, where I think a lot of people think he's more of a 4th round guy, kind of guy. So I guess that is kind of like a faller, right? 2 rounds faller. You guys have any opinions on Jalen Darden out of the North Texas Mean Green?
Not in particular, no.
What did you say was the hype he was getting? 4th round in NFL draft or in rookie draft?
I've seen him in some like mocks go like late 3rd, early 4th, in like those r/Dynasty mocks. I've seen him get drafted and his name thrown around, and everyone's always like, "Ooh, shush, don't mention him. He's my sleeper." Like,
you make a whole post about why he sucks or something.
You can go ahead and have him. Like, he's Gadget McGee out there.
Gadget McGee, Frank says.
Coin that. Put that on a T-shirt.
I don't have a strong feeling.
Go Gadget Jalen Darden.
Any other fallers? I guess my last faller could be Brevin Jordan. I'm not really a huge Brevin Jordan guy. I think that we talked about it last episode, though. Athletics not there, doesn't really match the profile of a tight end. I think he's a glorified wide receiver.
What round would you say he goes in the NFL draft?
I still think he goes 3rd round. I think he's probably a good NFL player. I don't think has the dominant tight end ceiling, though. I think that's the problem.
I mean, if he gets drafted in the 3rd round, like, I have to take a hard look at him, but like, I feel like he might be like a 4th rounder now. Maybe, yeah, probably 4th.
I had him.
He's worth a dart throw. It's just,
3rd.
It's funny, right? You see all these people in the Dynasty sub that love Brevin Jordan, but then scream that DF bean counter guy stuff, like, oh, don't take outliers. Well, Brevin Jordan is the definition of like a huge outlier. So you're just contradicting yourself if you're taking Brevin Jordan early in the 3rd round, or that one mock where we saw him go like 201. Meanwhile, you're saying, oh, you can't pick Devontae Smith because he's an outlier. Like, it's just
no. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to pick either one, Devontae Smith or Brevin Jordan. I'm sticking to that.
Let's answer these questions, though. What were Sid's questions?
Okay, so the first one was Zach Ertz. Mike asked it earlier. I saw a couple Eagles reporters come out. It was either this morning or yesterday, say they put it at around an 85 to 90% chance that Zach Ertz is traded by the end of day 3. I think he ends up getting traded somewhere for a late 3rd or maybe a 4th round pick. It's not going to take much to get him at all. The Eagles are just trying bad to offload his contract. And so I would be extremely shocked if he's on the same team. I could see a team like not San Diego, like the LA Chargers trading maybe an early 4th for him. I could see a team like the Bills trading a late 3rd for him. I think he gets traded by day 2 or day 3.
Ooh, the Bills. That's spicy. I like that.
The Bills were the team that was really rumored about it.
It would make sense for the Bills. A late 3rd, early 4th, I don't know if you're getting that.
It could just be a normal 4th if there's no market. I don't know. I just saw like 3rd or 4th round, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking here at one potential trade that does make more sense. It's from your boys, the Bleeding Green Nation, saying that they might package Ertz with pick 37 to move up to the Bills at pick 30, which that actually does sound more like something I believe could happen. Move down 7 picks, gain Zach Ertz. I don't think that's ridiculous to think. Yeah. No,
I like that a lot for the Bills, because at 37, you think you can still land ETN?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Imagine you pick up Zach Ertz and ETN. That's exactly what you need if you're the Bills. You can spend the rest of your draft on defense.
I
Their
feel
offense
like
would be crazy. Diggs, Ertz, ETN, Josh Allen.
The Bills obviously still do need that kind of running back, but like, is ETN the guy? I don't know. It's going to be like that CJ Spiller kind of running back group where, kind of in the later year where it's like everyone's okay, but no one's really that good. You kind of just have that committee going on. Not when like Marshawn Lynch and what was his name? Taylor?
Fred Taylor.
Yeah, Fred Taylor were there. It's going to be like the 2 years after that is going to be what the Bills running back committee is going to be again.
When Fred Taylor was still there.
No. Fred. When did Fred Taylor go to? Didn't he go to the Seahawks? Too? Didn't he leave to the Seahawks as well?
Thought he went to the. I'm not sure actually.
Jaguars maybe.
I don't remember.
Whatever. It's irrelevant. My thing though is like, no wait, Fred Taylor never even played for the. We're losing the plot here though. I just think like we're talking about like it's just gonna be like you're adding just another guy to that offense where it's like, does it improve the offense if you're drafting the ETN or the Najee Harris?
Their run game was non-existent by the end of last season.
Yeah, but like I don't think these guys really helped that much either. Like I don't know.
I think ETN can help it.
ETN would be like my only hope, and even then I'm putting it like a 55-45 that he actually is like a solid contributor on that offense.
Damn, because I think he can help a lot with some of the receiving game, but if that's your prediction.
Like Zach Moss is also a very good receiver though, is my thing. Like Zach Moss coming out was one of the higher touted receiving running backs, kind of in the same vein as like a Najee Harris right now. And we've seen that he's kind of disappointed, although like it is also weird where they're both like kind of injured at points. Like they both were battling injuries and stuff, and they just couldn't really find a rhythm. If I'm them though, I'm just gonna roll with them and not waste my pick on that kind of player.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe you probably just rather spend that second round or late first on good pass rusher, good interior D line or a corner.
Literally just make Josh Allen everything. He is the running back. He is the quarterback. He is just in Josh Allen.
The entire offense.
I think the reason I like it a lot is that I think it would be really good for ETN because I don't really want to see ETN go to a system where it's like, okay, you are the running game. Here you go. I don't think that type of workload and pressure on him is good for his development. I think that the Bills would be a really nice spot for ETN.
For ETN, it'd be awesome. For ETN, that's like a perfect landing spot. I agree.
What was the other question?
Talk about how the Eagles are bad and should feel bad about being bad. Well, my first response is you are right. We are bad and lost to the Redskins, keeping the G-Men out of the playoffs.
No,
Excuse me.
Which was pretty
Excuse
awesome.
me.
Cancel him.
We lost to the Washington football team, keeping the G-Men out of the playoffs. Which
Do
is
they
pretty
get a
awesome.
new name? Like, is
don't
that supposed
yet.
to be this year?
They sent a poll out to
No.
their fans recently, like a month
They're
ago.
gonna. I heard it's not going to be until like 2022, 2023.
Yeah, it's not going to be
They're just
until
going to
after
go
the
with
season.
it.
But they sent a name. One of the names was the Demon Cats.
Only Washington. Only
The
Washington.
Washington-
Demon Cats.
The Demon
What is
Cats.
this? Is this like a Canadian football team? Is this an arena football team?
The
What is
Demon
this?
Cats from Washington. Sydney.
only Washington could take 2 years to come up with a team name. Like it can't be that hard, people.
Yeah,
Not
but
like the Red
now they
Wolves.
need to keep it as the football team because I love the football team. I love it, dude.
It's a solid name. All right, we got any more segments we want to talk about? Anything else other than the draft is Thursday?
Unless there's anyone in the chat, feel free to send any questions. I guess if we want to end off, like we could list one or two things we're really rooting for to happen tomorrow.
Kellen Mond going pick 32 to the Steelers. They trade up.
You and Kellen Mond, it's like a fetish at this point, honestly.
No, that'd be kind of awesome.
He's a good
Kellen Mond.
player, and I want him on my favorite team. God damn.
Kellen Mond going to this year. That would be a wild one. I don't think it's unrealistic though, actually.
I don't think it's unrealistic.
I saw a mock draft where he goes second round to the Patriots, which would hurt my soul. But
Yo, Hazy, thanks for the follow, dude. Appreciate it.
You
Shout out OG.
You 1,000% deserve Devontae Smith in the first round and Kellen Mond in the second round, JT. It's deserved,
No,
and I
what's
hope
going to
that it
happen
comes.
is we move up to draft Devontae Smith. We also move up to draft Kadarius Toney, and we move up to draft
Oh
Kellen
my
Mond.
God. See, you're so worried about Devontae Smith when the whole time you should be worried about Kadarius Toney. Like,
if Tony is in New England,
if they take him at 15, that'd be nuts. He shouldn't be available.
He'll be the Curtis Samuel you guys missed out on.
They'll trade back, pick up Tony, and then they'll pick up Kellen Mond, and then someone else you hate. Michael Carter. They'll pick up Michael Carter too, or something.
They'll trade 15 for 27 and 31 from the Ravens and take Mond and Tony.
You guys are describing my nightmare that could happen on Thursday. This is the exact opposite. Wasn't this segment what we want on Thursday? This is the exact opposite.
Yeah, this is what we want.
I want them to move up to, I don't think Gettleman's going to move back with the Patriots. It just doesn't seem like it's in his MO. But I also don't know if they really need to move. Like, I think they can move up to the Lions at 7 and take Justin Fields. I definitely think that's a possibility. That's probably what I want. Move up to 7, snag Justin Fields. Don't rely on him falling to 15 because I really don't think he will.
So, again, if you just double checking, if you move up to 7, Trey Lance and Fields are there, you definitely want Fields over Lance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to know what I want to see happen?
Fields is my QB too. He's always been. What, Frank?
I want to see that wheel spin for JT and it land on the pro day. That's what I want to see happen.
Everyone wants this athletic specimen to do a pro day.
This athletic specimen.
I know you guys want me to get drafted by the NFL. I know you guys want me to get my tape out there for scouts to catch on to me. But look, I've given up, guys. I broke my wrist twice.
Put together a relative athletic score for
Oh my
JT?
God, that's the dream. That is the dream to have JT's relative athletic score. Oh my God.
It would be like a 9.7.
Hopefully it's better than Demetric Felton's.
It would be funny if it was.
I would whatchamacallit? I would frame it and put it on my wall right here, right behind me.
Yeah. I mean, how many other people on this pod would be able to say they did a pro day? I don't know. I don't know. It'd give me more credibility. Anyone else got anything to add?
Homer bias. I'm praying that one of the Bama receivers ends up in Midnight Green. But I honestly, if I had to predict right now, I don't think Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle is going to be available at 12. Because my current predictions right now are, I told you I think Jalen Waddle is going number 6. And I think Devontae Smith is getting taken 12 by the Giants.
If Waddle's going at 6, where's Jamar Chase going?
5.
Oh.
Then where's Penei Sewell going?
Penei Sewell, I don't know, Detroit maybe.
I wouldn't mind that. Penei Sewell to Detroit.
I really so no. If someone trades up to 4, it changes things. But if 4, 5, and 6 stay put, I really truly do believe it's going to be Pitts, Chase, Waddle.
All right, quick yes or no around the room. Picks 4, 5, 6. Do any of them get traded?
Yes.
If I had to guess right now, yeah. My prediction right now is this. They don't.
Sounds like we all think at least one of those.
I don't think it's going to be 5 or 6. I think the only chance is 4.
Really? You don't think the Dolphins move back down from 6? I just think they're here to just scheme the system. I think
them and the Eagles trade back with each other. It's like you and
it's like you and Barber. Just
the Tracy Baxi clause.
All right, well,
I think that's a good place to sum it up. Come check us out on the draft stream.
Everyone come and watch us tomorrow. Yeah, with JT's.
Yeah, we're streaming Thursday. Roughly.
It's Thursday.
Well, when this comes out, Lounis is saying, but we're streaming Thursday at 6, roughly, maybe a little after. But we're gonna try and for 6 on Thursday. We'll be streaming Saturday night and Sunday all day too. Check us out on 3rd and 20. We're at 3rd and 20 on Twitter. We'll tweet out when we're streaming too. What else? Oh, we are streaming, kind of trying to stream not every day, but consistently trying to get on. We have our orphan team that we took over that we're trying to rebuild. We've been making a lot of crazy trades on there. Frank's been grinding film.
We'll have a ton of content for post draft. we can only have an episode dedicated to each position.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be so much stuff to talk about.
There's going to be a lot to talk about. So, yeah. Thank you all for listening, and see you guys.
See you.